Technological progress has irreversibly changed the very surface of the Earth, as well as the minds of we who walk on it. However, any invention, no matter the intentions of the inventor, comes into the world with a shadow, the fatal flip side of a new kind of accident. The luxury steamliner, stock exchanges, Uber Eats, each one of them the forward face of crashes, meltdowns, fatalities. There's this old idea that technological progress is unequivocally good, forgetting that with each invention, we've also invented accidents without antecedents. Somewhat accidentally, we become the agents of totalized, globalized surveillance vision. We map and monitor each other with military precision, quite literally, in real time. Real time. I don't want to speed past this term. You ever thought about what that means? What's real about real time? Or older times, less real, unreal? How about live information? What makes it live as opposed to non-live? Dead? Undead? Live, real. These words might ring a bell as we're back on cybernetics, that is, self-governing control systems, the new time. Cybernetics alleviates the friction, delay, and even conscience of human decisions. It was once the hope of a few that cybernetics could be used to create a more human future. They were taken care of. Now, with unlimited application, cybernetics casts a brighter shadow than any other human technology, illuminating the Earth, making possible a final, fatal accident. Maybe it's already underway. The conception of cybernetics gives a clue to its destiny. The offspring of a man's copulation with an anti-aircraft gun. A child which has now matured in a complete planetary map that integrates you, your lunch delivery, and first strike capabilities alike. The destiny of cybernetics, first and foremost, is military logistics. Perhaps the destiny of technology has always been military logistics, which is not to say technology is developed exclusively for war, but any means by which distances can be controlled will be developed by military investment. From mathematics, to flight, to live geographic information systems, GIS and GPS. Before you could track your driver, the tech was developed for Blue Force tracking. Much of what we call technological development is actually the civilianization of military tech. Between the living and the surveilled are screens, interfaces, virtual maps, live camera feeds. Progress. From the digital image formats you're looking at the moment, to the graphical user interface on which you're looking at them, to the LCD screen on which that GUI appears, to the internet transmitting it to your device, all the way down, we're getting the sloppy seconds of military funding, which they first used to establish control over territory for a cybernetic empire. The history of politics is first the race of military logistics against the physical limitations of space, conquered by speed. Social contracts, class relations, and ideology emerge within politics but are not its foundation. At first, this was terrestrial speed, technology as the means in which the polis can distribute power. Horses, roads, trains, and APCs, police or military, it makes no difference. Both are projections of polis power. Terrestrial speed was brought to an end by the threat of the atomic bomb, the power of which is not in its speed, but in that it deters an enemy from using their speed to control new territory. That is, nuclear deterrence. Though far more often today, control speed is accomplished by communications technology. that is, information at the speed of light. Battles over territory become secondary to battles over information. The Iraq War was the first full-scale GIS war. In the Middle East, for the first time, information eclipsed territory as the space of war. Hold up. Nope. Not that one.
As I report to you, air attacks are underway against military targets in Iraq.
David, here at the Pentagon only moments ago, CNN has been told that the initial reports reaching the Pentagon from Operation Desert Shield's headquarters in Riyadh, that's CENTCOM, are very positive. It is an air campaign at this point, strictly an air campaign, very carefully orchestrated, rehearsed over many, many weeks and months.
The next one is a Scud storage building in Kuwait, and keep your eye on the entrance to the storage. Again, the pilot has released his bombs about 2 miles away. He's banking away from the target, leaving the target area, lasing the target, and you'll see 2 bombs fly into the door of the storage bunker. And you'll be able to count each bomb. 1, 2.
This was an information war in more than one sense. Not only was it the public debut of smart bombs, stealth, and digital geomapping technology, it was also the US military's first true voyeur war, one that took place in live informatics space with the viewing public as participants. Terrestrial control is superseded by informatic control, including control of what the public sees. Some observed immediately this was not a war like other wars, but a real-time simulation of war. War is born of an antagonistic, destructive, but dual relation between 2 adversaries. This war is an asexual surgical war, a matter of war processing in which the enemy only appears as a computerized target. The 2 adversaries did not even confront each other face to face. The one, lost in its virtual war, won in advance. The other, buried in its traditional war, lost in advance. They never saw each other. The US military learned something in Vietnam. War is bad when people die. Rather, no, war is unfavorable when your audience witnesses people die. They learned then that the new war would be fought not only with bombs and personnel, but with images and information. They were prepared for this one.
And this is my counterpart's headquarters in Baghdad. This is the headquarters of the Air Force, and keep your eye on all sides of the building as the airplane overflies the building and drops the bomb down through the center of the building.
The new public relations war required a clean war, precision war.
Those pictures were videotaped by cameras mounted on the Air Force F-111s and F-117 stealth fighters.
Before Desert Shield, the US military had some time off, during which their contractors, engineers, and academics, geographers in particular, were very busy. The war in Kuwait debuted a new kind of war, cyber war, and the application of real-time information and disinformation technologies, logistics, now at light speed, plus a live television audience. Real-time war, the first video game. In the new war, the enemy has become a simulated image, an other whose agency is prescribed within the limits of a computerized program. A war won in advance. Computer graphics are in the service, above all else, of the military. They mainly promote death through the support of weapon systems. January 17, 1991 was the day real-time annihilated space in Operation Instant Thunder.
Splash 2, OPEC 2, Splash 2. OPEC 1 is engaged, second quadrant, come offline.
GPS, a project of the US Department of Defense, was deployed in major combat for the first time. Real-time positioning of targets for smart bombs, equipped with cameras for our viewing pleasure. The war took place on a simulated virtual map of the Middle East. Cybernetic vision does not merely observe, it is productive, generating a second world. Two wars occurred simultaneously here, one on Earth and the other within its simulated double, a cyberspace. Thus, they never saw each other. Blue force tracking, red force tracking, friendlies, targets. They declared war on enemy information and infrastructure alike. Radar sites and communication hubs were first priority targets in a new kind of war, which could now be mediated by screens on the other side of the Earth. This figures as not only the defeat of the Iraqi military, but the final defeat of space itself. That great invisible obstacle, the first front of pure war. With speed, the Earth no longer exists. The Gulf War did not take place, at least not on the Earth. No death, only dots that disappear from the screen in accordance with a pre-written program. Posthuman cyber war, real-time content creation for an eager, live audience back at home. Precision war for good PR for war itself.
With computers in the cockpits, sophisticated radar and navigational equipment, today's fighters strike more targets, more accurately, and cover a wider area than anyone would have dreamed possible in World War II or Vietnam.
Of course, this was not the others' experience of the war or its aftermath.
I miss my wife and my children. Is that fair? Nobody says something to stop this massacre.
But this was not about them. It never is. This war was for us, a consumer public that had lost faith in war after Vietnam. As the hostages of primetime coverage, we were made the simulacral protagonists of this war.
Bombing runs in World War II were not very accurate. Hundreds of planes on each mission dropped bombs and did not always destroy targets. If they had had F-111s back then, 8 of them could have pulled off many of the same missions and destroyed targets with certainty.
We fixed war. It's clean now. We still need it. Evil yet lurks out there in the desert. The outcome of this event, the technological progress it signaled along with the consent it manufactured, was the birth of panoptical surveillance abroad, one that has come home. 1991 birthed total telesurveillance, revealing all the world as a grid beneath an electronic sky, a new vision of a world that is constantly telepresent, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, thanks to the artifice of this trans-horizon optics, which puts what was previously out of sight on display. With total telesurveillance, everything can be seen, even what is not there.
Presence of weapons of mass destruction. And they can claim that nothing was there, and the inspectors can look all they want, and they will find nothing. This effort to hide things from the inspectors is not one or two isolated events. Quite the contrary. This is part and parcel of a policy of evasion and deception that goes back 12 years, a policy set at the highest levels of the Iraqi regime.
In conflict zones, what is not seen must be real. Insurgents, terrorists, WMDs could threaten precisely because we cannot see them, and we can see anything.
We also have satellite photos that indicate that banned materials have recently been moved from a number of Iraqi weapons of mass destruction facilities. Let me say a word about satellite images before I show a couple. The photos that I am about to show you are sometimes hard for the average person to interpret, but as I show you these images, I will try to capture and explain what they mean, what they indicate to our imagery specialists. Let's look at one. This one is about a weapons munition facility, a facility that holds ammunition at a place called Taji. This is one of about 65 such facilities in Iraq. We know that this one has housed chemical munitions. The 4 that are in red squares represent active chemical munitions bunkers.
During the first Iraq War, it usually took 3 days to identify a target it, and to strike it. In the second Iraq War, the same process took fewer than 10 minutes in some cases. The second war in Iraq lasted a mere 26 days. But then we came to see what cybernetic eyes do not: unconventional warfare. Targets not yet marked as targets. Every military-aged male is a potential target, a population full of red. 100,000 dead, 200,000 dead, collateral damage. Pure war was born in the Middle East, but the same electric sky is global. What we have to fear are the accidents which are integral to any technology. A technology that is everywhere may produce an accident everywhere. If interactivity is to information what radioactivity is to energy, then we are confronted with the fearsome emergence of the accident to end all accidents. We are faced with a phenomenon which may possibly occur everywhere simultaneously. What do we have to fear? Would it show on a map? Our informatic doubles have come to replace us insofar as cybernetics is concerned. Not only what we spend, but what we fear, what we desire, not only what we might do, but even what we are, reduced to information. What is the integral accident of cybernetic military logistics? A DNA splicing Chernobyl? Cybernetic eugenicism? The final crash? That's all long since out of our hands, or in our hands, as the case may be. Virilio might ask, who's next to be marked with those red triangles? The atom bomb, the information bomb, the demographic bomb. The cybernetic future will be the site of great accidents.
I'm Wolf Blitzer, and you're in the Situation Room, where news and information from around the world arrive in one place simultaneously. On these screens behind me, data feeds coming in, CNN.com, other information crossing in real time, And happening right now, we're watching several stories around the world. Bioterror or nuclear blast. What happens if war comes to the home front here in the United States? We're following a developing story. Could the military patrol the streets of American cities? Coming up, I'll speak live this hour with Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff. He'll be right here in the Situation Room. You're in the Situation
The Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, or APKWS, uses semi-active laser guidance technology to direct and guide rockets toward striking soft and lightly armored targets in built-up or confined areas.